My husband is leaving me for a younger woman. This is a little awkward. This story came August 8th, 2025. I made this account because my main one has friends on it and I'm way too embarrassed to be known as the cheated on wife. Well, if anyone should be embarrassed, it's him, okay? I'm 34 female, married for 7 years to my husband, 41 male, together for 10 years. I love my husband and I always thought that he felt the same about me. We built a life together. 8 years ago, he had severe anxiety and couldn't sleep, so I would stay up with him, holding his hands and doing breathing exercises until he could finally rest. I would go to work exhausted. I encouraged him to grow in his career, even though he was afraid. 6 years ago, I quit my job to take care of his mom who had cancer because he had the potential to earn more money than me. While I was job hunting again, I got pregnant, and he suggested that I stay home to take care of him and our daughter. So I did. I cared for him and I loved him. In December, he got a promotion, which meant more hours. I gave birth to our daughter in March. I went through a phase where I felt horrible, fat, ugly, and it was just me and baby at home. He barely talked to me, always said he was tired and that I wouldn't understand what he had to say. If it wasn't for my mom staying on video calls with me, I think I would have felt completely abandoned. I've been suggesting couples therapy since June, and he kept saying that everything was fine. Now I feel like I'm nothing more than a mother. I used to read, study, and be interesting. I wasn't sexually frustrated or insecure back then. I used to have conversations about politics, music, books, and art. I decorate our house myself with my own savings, and it's everything I ever dreamed of. I love my house. The colors, the furniture, my kitchen. It took me years to make it exactly how I wanted. I have the garden I always dreamed of, a vegetable patch that I adore, and a hanging chair where I love to sit with my baby. Last week, he came home later than usual, and I was happy to see him. I was in the living room playing with our daughters. He asked the older one to go to her room. He seemed like he had been drinking, and then he said, "I love you so much, but I don't want to be with you anymore." He told me I wasn't the person that he fell in love with anymore. Then he said he was in love with a girl from work, and that she was everything he had ever dreamed of, and that he needed to give himself the chance to live that love without guilt. I'm so sorry that I'm standing in the way of your love story as your wife. And you know what? Don't even bring it up, Joss. Don't even bring it up. Yes, he cheated on me with a 22-year-old. He's 41. You're 37. She's 22. That's so little. When I think of myself at 22, like, to me, that's 18. Like, well, not for everyone. I wasn't the most mature. But at 22 years old, I very much felt like a baby.
Was the baby.
When I finally managed to speak, the only thing that came out was, "But what about my home decor?" What? You know what? It's overwhelming, all right? I don't blame you. It's okay. At some point, I picked up my baby and I started shouting things like, "I put time into this house. I did everything it needed. This house is mine." We argued because apparently I didn't value his suffering enough. I don't know why I kept talking about the house. I guess I'm disposable. I'm 34. Oh, 34. Oh, she's 34. I got the age wrong. I'm 34 with a 4-month-old baby and a 4-year-old daughter. I don't have a job. I'm going to lose my dream house. I feel ugly, fat, and he's told me that he's not attracted to me anymore because I gained too much weight during my last pregnancy. Edit. I'm gonna talk with his mom and brother about the divorce today. I'm starting with them because they're close to me, and his brother went through a divorce over infidelity early last year. Also, his mom is very attached to me for obvious reasons. I was there for her during the worst part of her life, and his brother and I are also very close. I also texted my mom, and she's coming here to stay with me and the girls. I hope she gets the visa to visit, and my dad, who's American, will be coming to my state in 2 weeks. And then there was another edit. I talked to his brother about the affair, and he is leaving. He told me to find a lawyer, the same thing that you all said, and now we're talking to a few lawyers today. I accepted the help because I have the girls with me, so it's hard to do everything alone. When I tell you, cheating can really just flip your entire world upside down. Let's check out some of the top comments so far. Someone commented and said, family law attorney in your area. Why should you move? Are you in the US? You don't work and he does? You are the primary caregiver to your kids? Did someone tell you that banging a 22-year-old was free? That was the most expensive thing he ever did. OP wrote back and said, I don't want to move. I've been living in the US for 16 years, but I am from South America. Honestly, I'm scared even though I am here legally. Someone else commented and said, yeah, so you wouldn't miss him, but just the house? And OP responded and said, I'm going to miss him so much. I love him and I gave so much of myself to him. I can't even describe to you how much it hurts to take a hit like this. It hurts so much that I don't even think about how much I'll miss him. I think about how I dedicated so much time to all of this. He wanted a second daughter and she's here at 4 months old while he is sleeping with a new girl. I'm in pain and I'm so angry. Next comment, leaving her with a 4-month-old is pretty crappy behavior, but her response indicates to me that there wasn't a lot of space for him in the relationship. She referred to it as her house, her decor, her vegetable garden. My marriage broke down for similar reasons, although I didn't leave for my secretary. It was pretty clear to me that my wife considered her role to be looking after the house and the kids, and my role was to pay for everything. I don't know about that. I don't know how that makes me feel. OP responded and said he didn't want to get involved in anything related to the house, neither taking care of it, nor maintaining it, nor giving opinions. Everything was whatever. Plus, he was spending some of his free time screwing another girl. Let's not forget. His free time could have been at home, helping around the house, helping decorate. Why are you assuming that it wasn't? Next comment. So basically you put him on a pedestal and made him your god and served him, neglecting yourself and everything that made you who you are. Now you are crying about the damn house and how unfair of him to do this to you. Wasn't it unfair of you to abandon yourself for that man? If you abandoned you, why would he stick with you? And it's a waste of time giving advice here. You'll take him back in a second if he said sorry. I made a mistake. You really will stay with him and fight for him until the end, when you should only focus on you, not him. So, do you want us to say how evil he is to do this to a perfect person like you? Oh, but yeah, do couples therapy. Can't lose that house. You guys. Dang! I don't understand that. That is not my reaction. OP responded to this, and I'm curious to know what they're gonna say. I neglected myself in many ways, really. Along the way, I may have changed, but everything I did came from the bottom of my heart. I took care of his mother because I cared about her. I had and cared for my daughters because I wanted to be a mother, and it made sense for me to care for our children. And I took care of him because I like taking care of people that I love. But I had never even thought about how much I neglected myself until now, because I accepted so many things since I loved him, and I was busy with all of that. To be really honest, I didn't even want to have my youngest daughter. He was the one who insisted. I hope one day I can be as strong-willed as you, and I hope you never go through this, because unfortunately, it's very easy to lose yourself in motherhood and in the role of wife, and I got lost. And no, I do not intend to get back with my husband. I'm afraid of losing my home and my daughters. I was gonna say, let's not forget that postpartum is very, very, very difficult. I have a lot of friends who are mothers, and majority of them dealt with postpartum depression and really struggled, especially with their firstborn. So let's not forget how easy that could be to lose yourself in some ways. And I feel like you need a partner to stick by you through that time and help you and support you. I don't know, these reactions aren't sitting well with me, but you guys let me know, all right? Let's hear from some moms in the comments, please. Am I going crazy? We have an update, and it came 1 week later. We're now at August 15th. Hi, I'm writing because I feel pathetic, tired, and I just want to skip to when this phase of my life is over. A brief summary of what happened this week, and I can't believe I loved this man. My brother-in-law is staying at my house until my family arrives, and my best friend visits me every day. On Monday, my brother-in-law asked my ex to leave the house, and strangely, he actually listened to his brother. Since then, he's only been tormenting me through messages. He wants an amicable divorce and keeps making me proposals that only benefit him. I've been trying to stick to a routine because I have 2 children and they need stability, and apparently I'm the only one willing to provide that. Yesterday, he texted me saying he wanted to see the kids, and I agreed. He showed up after they were already asleep. I swore he wasn't going to come. He arrived here at 11 p.m. with a document wanting to talk about how he would like to keep the house and pay me an additional amount for my share. I just stared at him without saying anything. I asked him to leave because the kids were sleeping. My brother-in-law added that it wasn't the right time or place to discuss this and asked him to leave. I don't know what happened to him, but this doesn't seem like the man I married. He yelled at my brother-in-law saying that he was betraying him and that he wanted to play house because his own marriage didn't work out. Then he yelled at me and called me a lazy hooer who wasn't going to take his money. He said this house was his and that his 22-year-old girlfriend, Anne, I love that you just threw her name in, told him I was going to try to keep the house that he bought. We didn't respond. I just said that he should leave because it was getting pretty messy, and then he left. I don't know why he wants the house when he can afford to buy another one, and I don't understand how the person I married could try to trick me just to come out ahead in the divorce. I kept asking myself, if this is the man I married, he wants me gone and he wants the kids gone. He didn't ask about the girls, about his own daughters. He didn't see them or even ask to give them a goodnight kiss. To him and Anne, we are just an obstacle, nothing more. I am not even a person. He is probably very wrapped up in what to him seems very exciting and new and a young girlfriend and a new life. Yeah, he's in like a little fantasy world right now, but reality settles in. It does. I think that might pass. Let's see what some of the comments are saying now. Someone commented and asked, did he buy the house before you were married or did you both buy it after you were married? If he came into the marriage with the house, there isn't much you can do and he will likely get the house. If not, then you will probably get the house in the divorce as that is the home of the kids. I would suggest keeping all communications in text so that you have evidence of what he said. Keep a notebook as well to make notes of anything he does or says or doesn't do regarding the kids. If he says he will visit but doesn't, make note of it. This will help you in child custody. Very true. OP wrote back and said, I paid part of the down payment. He pays the mortgage, but I've invested around 15% of the value in renovations and decoration. I don't know enough about how the house world works because I rent. So I have no advice there. You guys will probably know a lot more about it than I will. Next comment, someone said the 22-year-old wants the house. And I hate to admit it, but I was like, that 22-year-old is gonna say, get the house, your ex-wife is gonna try to take it because she wants to move in. Ooh, my older boyfriend who owns a house, like I can just move in and have an entire house paid for me? I think there's a little bit of that going on, I'm sure. OP responded and said, for sure, but she won't even come close. What makes me angriest is that it took me so long to get the house to look the way it does. And now some girl comes along and he just assumes I'm gonna give the house to them. I think he's just hoping. Next comment. So basically you quit your job to take care of his mom and didn't get another job to raise yours and his children. So you had to rely on him for income. And now this effer who you gave up everything for, his and his family, wants to basically leave you nothing and doesn't even give a crap about the kids. F that. I hope someone will give you the money for a good divorce lawyer because what an a-hole. OP responded and said, my dad is going to pay for my lawyer. My mom is also supporting me financially. And my brother-in-law has also offered to cover expenses if necessary. His own brother. That's gotta sting. Next comment, what happened to your brother-in-law's marriage? OP wrote back and said the ex cheated and got pregnant. He had to rush through the divorce so that he wouldn't be listed on the childbirth certificate. They have been together since high school. Ooh, so this hits really close to his brother. That's why he's so emotionally invested, because he's like, I just went through what she's going through and you caused it. Yikes. We have another update, but first we're gonna hydrate. And yes, I'm still using some Christmas cups. Mind your business, it makes me happy. That's all there is to it. Cheers. Plus I'm drinking water, so leave me alone, I'm hydrating. So when do you guys take down all your Christmas stuff? I wanna know, because I feel like it's a heated debate online. Some people leave it for all of January. Some people take it down like the week after Christmas. Mine is obviously still up. I like to keep the holiday spirits going because I feel like in the winter it's really the only thing that keeps me excited for anything because seasonal depression, it's miserable. It's dark, It's cold. Anyways, not the point. How long do you guys, like, when do you start taking down all your Christmas stuff? All right, so the next update was 1 month later, September 17th. After a divorce, After a divorce, is there a right time to go on a date? I'm getting a divorce. We are filing the papers. A friend introduced me to her brother-in-law and he asked me out. I thought about going because I never imagined anyone would be interested in a mom going through a divorce, just to talk and see what dating again is like, but I'm not sure if it's the right time. I don't know. I don't think there's a handbook to that. I think everyone's situation is different and you do whatever you're feeling in your heart and what's best for you. Like a date is harmless. That's really up to you. You know, if you want to get involved with another man and you have kids to think about, obviously, but there's no handbook. Oh, another update. Maybe she went on a date. The next update is 3 months later. Oh, right before this Christmas. We are now at December 20th, baby. Did she get her life sorted right in time for the holidays? Let's find out. I need some advice. How do I set boundaries with an ex without him abandoning our daughters? I really don't know who to ask because I'm super embarrassed, and Reddit has been helping me before. I'm in the middle of the divorce and it's been a really ugly fight. My ex hid assets from me, bought an apartment where his mistress was living without me knowing, hid some investments, and honestly, I don't think I would have found out if someone on Reddit hadn't told me that I could hire a specialist to look into it. I'll be damned. He's worse than I thought. This week, he tried to talk to me a few times, but I didn't really engage. Then yesterday, he asked to pick up our oldest daughter, and I said yes. I figured the conversations were because he missed our daughters. Today, he came to drop her off. After our daughter went inside, he asked if we could talk, and I agreed. He asked how I was. I said, fine, trying not to be rude. I asked how he was too. My God, he would not stop talking. Problem after problem with his barely legal, pregnant affair partner. Oh my God. So he literally did what his brother's ex did. No. Yes. Yes. Then after all that, he asked if we could fix things. Delusional. Of course I said no, he's disgusting, and called me fat just a few months after I delivered our youngest baby. And I'm also having a thing with someone. But the worst part is that he kissed me and I didn't want the kiss. I just went inside without saying anything. I don't want this to be misunderstood because I swear I did not give him any opening for that. I kind of feel dirty. So, how do I set a boundary without completely pushing him away from having a relationship with our daughters? The last time he spent a long stretch of time with our daughters was in September. Well, I guess she went on the date. Let's see what the comments are saying now. Someone said, you mentioned you don't feel safe being alone with him. Can you expand on that a little? And that's when OP said, well, he forcefully held me and kissed me. Next comment, what is happening with your house? Do you get to keep it? You are entitled to the house, his other investments, and alimony. On another note, karma, eh? He comes back to you after he realizes the grass isn't greener on the other side. I told you he was in a little fantasy phase. OP said, it's not finalized yet, but it looks good on my side. And lastly, OP clarifies on why she was considering about stepping out into the dating world. She wrote, a lot of people assume I'm looking for a man to replace my ex as a father figure, and exposing kids to that can make them vulnerable to harassment or abuse. But that's not what's happening. I have my dad, my stepmom, and my mother-in-law who help so that I can have some time for myself. I use that time for many things. I am even taking a course to go back to working in my field, but I also use that time to explore relationships because my ex was the only relationship I've ever had, and I want to experience other dynamics. All right, you guys, let me know what you think about this whole thing. There's so much in there. I feel like I knew exactly how this story was gonna go. I've read a few in my day, all right? I'm a vet at this now. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.